Good morning. Welcome to Global Harmonization today. God bless you. Glad to have you here. If you're new to this, first time watching Global Harmonization, usually break down just something to consider or a distinction or something that's going around in my perspective, something that's been coming up to my awareness, seems to be a hot topic in the world of things, and then bringing them to spiritual overtones and really connecting to that inner truth and be able to see beyond the veils of illusion. So thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of this. God bless you. So today, what's actually been showing up all around me is this idea of responsibility and the importance that it carries with it. I'm going to actually bring up the etymology of the word just to see if there's any magic hidden there that can be brought to deeper distinctions. See, when I was growing up, I thought responsibility was something that came along with privilege, is basically what I was always told. If you got any privileges, you got more responsibilities. And the responsibilities were like the bad part that came along with privileges, the opposite side of the coin. Hey, Natalia, great to see you. And it was really always taught as this kind of bad thing to have responsibilities. Now, for some reason, it's not coming up on my etymology tool here, this word responsibility. However, just looking at the etymology of the word, very, very clearly, actually, I can look here too. You have two words here, response and ability. So if I look at the etymology, it's the condition of being responsible, which was responsible and itty. All those things that for that one was responsible. Response, answerable. Responsible means answerable in the 1590s. For the word to be back, and spondere, pledge or sponsor. So pledge back, it's something somebody's actually making themselves responsible for. In the 1640s, it was actually used in the relation of being reliable or trustworthy. I'm looking for the Latin root word. Yeah. Okay, so it's back, spondere, to pledge, to be able to respond, answer to promise in return, or answerable. And I like to still even look at, you have these two words, response and ability here. It's actually the fact that I have a responsibility is where all of my power is. I have actually the ability to respond to something. And when I have the ability to respond to something, that gives me power. If I'm in the act of responding to it, then I'd be using the power. But actually having that ability for something is where there's power to be used, to be leveraged. And when I take responsibility and start becoming responsible for more things, start to create the ability to be able to respond to more things, to take accountability, to be able to see where I played a role in the creation of whatever it is that's transponding, whatever it is, even if it seems like something I haven't yet to even interact with. If I have the ability to respond to it, then I have some sense of responsibility. So what I'm noticing, which is really beautiful, is people beginning to take radical responsibility. This is something that was introduced to me, about 2 years now, maybe even more. of taking responsibility for every single thing in my awareness. If I don't like the vent behind my shoulder right there, I didn't install that vent, right? But I can still be responsible and change it, right? So, and I didn't tell somebody to install it somewhere different. So I take 100% responsibility where that vent is. So if something's upsetting me, I can take the responsibility and resolve it. If something's pleasing me, I can also take the responsibility. That doesn't mean taking away the credit from what anybody else does in the world of others. However, in the knowingness that everything around me is my responsibility, it actually gives me so much greater power to change the trajectory of my life. So this tool of taking radical responsibility was great for that breaking through period when I was feeling like the world was happening a little bit to me. In that state where I was like, oh my gosh, all this stuff is happening around me. I don't even know. I didn't even have the idea to say it's happening around me and say, hey, I'm the common denominator. At one point, it was all this stuff is happening to me. My life happens to me, bombarding me with stuff over and over and over and over again. And the moment I started taking more responsibility, I started seeing the correlation, the cause and effect. And the responsibility didn't necessarily come in the state of an action. It came in the state of the thinking. It came from the spiritual realm, because once that thinking is there, once I'm connected spiritually, and I can hold in my perspective the paradigm of my responsibility in the role of whatever the situation is, it automatically begins to transform itself. It automatically begins to move itself. Now, what is it going to move itself to? That is a result of what I speak out or what actions I take. Or maybe neither one of those happen. Maybe I take responsibility and I see it is for what it is, and I can now shift my perspective, and I'm the thing that changes. So that vent right there, right, that whole vent behind me and the ceiling, that vent, I could just change my perspective on it, and all of a sudden it changes the way it feels around me. And I don't have to change anything in my life. So if you haven't already done this, I invite you, spend a day, spend a week, spend a month taking responsibility for everything that comes in your awareness. With responsibility, like eat up responsibility. Anybody offers you a responsibility, take it. Eat it up like nobody's business, because it's access to your power of creation. And having more practice with that power and taking that responsibility, every single time I take that responsibility on, it gives what I call life points. And the more life points you have, the more things you're actually capable of dealing with and moving through and being around. The more life points one has, the more they're actually capable of. The more ability they have, the more responsibility they have, the more privilege they have, the more possibility they can see. And this is all within every single one of us. So it's how much am I willing to take responsibility? Maybe ask yourself, do you take responsibility for 100% of what comes into your awareness? You say, you know what, that I take responsibility for everything around this circle of me and what I spoke and written contracts for, the things that I specifically did. That's where I thought responsibility ended. But it's everything that comes in my awareness, that some way I've created it. And it allows me to digest and go back and look at what my thinking was when that problem got created or situation got created. Call it a situation rather than or an issue, whatever, consideration. The happening got created. I created it in some role. When I can start identifying those dots in the past, then I start being able to identify them here and now, and then knowing how to interact here and now, most important, it's like being able to see a little bit of the future. It's like having a little bit of a looking glass. And this meditative state that we get into here in the harmonization clears that mind from all of the doubts, concerns, worries that are just making up static, that all the things that would actually make me not want to take responsibility, right? Like if I'm having doubts or insecurities or concerns, then no way I want responsibility. Like I want to be hidden. I don't even want anybody to know where I'm at because I'm having these doubts and insecurities and concerns. I might even become depressed, right? So the more responsibility I take, it's actually the path to walk me out of that. It's like overcoming little micro fears and taking on more bigger responsibilities, and then can take on those bigger fears, be more courageous, and live more from the heart. So with all of that, drop in, get into that meditative position, and just begin opening up the neck, the shoulders. And let's open up the heart. We start doing that physically, right? The arms are connected to the heart chakra. So if we open our arms like this and stretch back, we're actually opening up our heart chakra, leading with our chest, bringing it forward, tucking the chin, bringing it back, just closing the eyes and beginning to breathe, filling the belly and then the chest. And just becoming consciously aware of every part of my body, just scanning down from my head, down, just checking to see any aches and pains, anything that's uneven, anything that's bothering me. No judgment around it, just looking for any of those knots, because we're going to breathe through those, set the tone to optimize the body today with each breath, and inhaling, fill the belly. And just creating some open space, holding the breath at the top, and just checking my mental state, maybe just giving it a name for right now, or some kind of way to gauge, my really in my busy mind, am I chilling like a villain? Am I got my to-do list running? Do I have a bunch of worries and concerns running? What's going through my mind right now? Is it a blank canvas? And exhaling that out. No judgments around this. Whatever it is right now or right then. I'm breathing in again. Just checking in with my emotional state. How am I feeling right now? Am I calm, collected, ready for action? Am I distraught in any way? Am I experiencing anxiety about the future, shame for the past? Just checking in. Am I have anything looping through emotionally? Do I just keep feeling an emotion that I haven't let through yet? Just bringing it to awareness. No judgment. No emotion is bad. Like the rainbow has colors, emotions, all emotions are like that spectrum that creates what love is to a rainbow, as colors are to the individual emotions. So all emotions are an expression of love. It's awareness, it's allowance, it's existence. It's the most beautiful possibility. And exhaling out, breathing in. And just checking in my heart. How connected do I feel to the divine, the source, the creator, the universe, the energy, whatever the name is you've got for this power, the Christ consciousness, whatever it is for you. Maybe just throwing a number next to it. And exhaling out. Breathing in, filling up the belly, then the chest, holding at the top. I'm setting an intention to bring that number of connection to a 10, my body to optimize, my mind to be crystal clear, my heart to be courageous, my emotions to be full of courage, love, gratitude, freedom. And exhaling out. Breathing in. And at the top of this breath, just listening to this tone, letting it clear everything out. And bringing the attention to the breath. Just breathing in. Noticing the flow of the breath within the body. And breathing out. Breathing out. Exhaling all of the air out of the lungs, making the biggest breath of the day. And beginning to become one with this breath. And then zooming the lens out, away from just the inhale and the exhalation of the breath, and watching how these two polar opposites of inhaling and exhaling become one as a breath. Each breath cleansing, rejuvenating, restoring, reminding, releasing, reliving, birthing a new moment. Each breath is what I make of it with my responsibility. The mind begins to wander, just return to the breath. Gently opening the eyes. God bless you all. Thank you for joining today. Absolutely, Natalia, meditation, clarity of mind, clarity of heart. Of course, Elisa, law of attraction. So beautiful. Well, thank you all. Natalia, August, Elisa, thank you for being on and commenting, dropping in, saying hello. God bless you. I look forward to seeing you back here tomorrow. Have a great, great day.